Racing happened over the weekend, and we have the scoop. Supercross from Arizona and another first-time winner. Arenacross jumps into action, and a familiar name to most got his first overall, and we talked to him. We get social and check in on a couple of stars, including the injured Weston Pike. All that and more only on the Racer X Show. Hello and welcome to the Racer X Show. I'm your host, Greg White. We have all that stuff we just talked about in the tease, plus a local West Virginia indoor race with an Alessi in it, and my fantasy picks from last week. So let's get going.
The Racer X Show with Greg White is being presented by Acerbis, Soul and Passion.
Now it's time for the Supercross segment brought to you by Acerbis. And this show, we're going to start you off with the Monster Energy Supercross 250 West Championship from Chase Field in Phoenix, where the whoops were big, the jumps were tight and technical, and the ruts, well, they were ruddy. Now the theme for Supercross is hashtag Who's Next, and when round two was done and dusted, we'd have another first-time winner. When we got to the main event gate, it was Red Bull KTM's Justin Hill who was the fastest of them all, with last week's winner, number 28 Troy Lee Design KTM's Jesse Nelson, second fastest. On the right side of your screen, that's called a bad gate pick and being pinched off. So the whole shot would go to number 16 Zach Osborne on the Husqvarna FC250. Real close is number 17 on the blue Yamaha, it's Cooper Webb. But this night, the whoops belonged to number 34 Troy Lee KTM's Malcolm Stewart. He ripped them up, took over the top spot, and would start to eke away from the rest of the field. But that wouldn't last long. Webb would find himself in second spot and quickly tracking down the fast starter Stewart. On the fourth lap of 15, Webb made a nice clean move to the inside of the 34, that's the lead. And that would be all the Newport, North Carolinian needed to notch his first Supercross victory. Stewart was able to hold on to second with Jesse Nelson holding that red number plate for at least one more week. Webb, Bowers, and Osborne all within three. Osborne says his arms tightened up, and it was hard to hold on with that broken thumb, no doubt. Moving on to the premier class, the 450s, where last week we saw German Ken Roczen on his RCH Soaring Eagle Jimmy John Suzuki Factory Racing RMZ take the win. But it was Eli Tomac and his Geico Honda CRF who showed the most consistent speed. But when Tomac made a mistake and went over the bars, it was over. This week, the Cortez, Colorado native was again fastest, and in what he calls his closest hometown race, and in front of 25 of his closest peeps. His fortunes would change in what would become the most memorable Supercross race of his life. With the gate down, Justin Barcia pulled a huge wheelie that hurt the Autotrader.com Toyota Yamaha team racer, but the whole shot winner Eli Tomac could have cared less what was going on behind him. Initially, number 5 Ryan Dungey on the Red Bull KTM was behind until the second quarter, where Roczen railed on by, leaving the two longtime rivals to go after each other and put on a great spectacle for the fans. But that wasn't the only race, as Dungey would fall to the clutches of Autotrader.com Toyota Yamaha's 23 Weston Pike. Pike with a couple of sweet moves. You could see the desire in his riding. To date, his best finish, a pair of fifths last season, Anaheim 3 and San Diego. They would go at it all night long. Meanwhile, up front, Roczen leading Tomac. These two would ride side by side, swapping back and forth in what Tomac described to Racer X as super fun. Going on to say, I don't know how many laps it lasted, but somewhere around the middle of the race, I ended up getting in front, making a little bit of a push there. Now, both these guys raced with respect and giving each other a lot of room. Tomac again saying, quote, I think we both kind of have the same mindset. We look towards the future and not just this one race like it's the end of the world, unquote. The roar of the crowd was deafening at times. Now back to the battle with Dungey and Pike. Pike would fade to fourth after a mistake broke his foot. More on that later. But Saturday night was all Eli Tomac with his first 450 Supercross win of his career. Davey Millsap's in a solid fifth in his return to full race action in 2 years. Anaheim 1 podium finisher Jason Anderson on the Husky, sixth. With Tomac virtually spotting Roczen a win to his 20th, Ken leads the way from Dungey by 9, 21 over Eli Tomac. How about a new segment we call Socializing, a brief look at some social media stuff that has caught our eye. We told you about Weston Pike and his foot. He said post-race that he came up short on a triple and rolled his ankle really bad and literally could not stand on it. Well, yesterday he grammed out this, quote, broke a bone in my foot last Saturday night in the main event, getting a screw put in it tomorrow and hoping I'll recover in time to race this weekend. I hope he can do that as well. Pike is on the rise. And this funny one from Yoshimura Suzuki's James Stewart, who's out serving a 16-month suspension. Quote, refused to break my Saturday night routine. Ha ha ha. Hashtag SX on Fox. Stewart was at Anaheim 1 signing autographs. I love that he's out and available for fans. Great move. All right, so I told you last week that I'm all into this Moto Fantasy racing stuff, and here are my top 5 picks on the left versus the actual finishing order on the right. In 250s, I did okay. Stewart and Webb reversed, nailed it on Nelson, not shown Justin Hill 6th, got that one. In 450s, not so great, but not a disaster either. My biggest points, Millsap. I picked him 3rd, he got 5th. Now, right now, I'm ranked 4,978th. Oh boy, I really got to pick this thing up. MotoDynasty.racerxonline.com has it for you. You can start your picks right now. I'll probably tweet my stuff out on Saturday, so check that out. And make sure you check out Supercross Live on Fox Sports 1. It's Anaheim 2, 10 p.m. East. And hashtag Who's Next on all of your social media stuff. That's our Supercross segment presented by Acherbys. If you're a rider and you're new to pro racing and you want in Supercross, the new way to do it is through the AMSOIL Arenacross series and the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross. Now, the season kicked off in Cincinnati over the weekend, and a veteran racer you may recognize took the overall. To the highlights. Arenacross is bar-banging, close action done in tight spaces, with the main Arenacross class showcased each Saturday evening. Some names you've heard from the pro ranks and some from the amateur ranks, like Loretta Lynn's. Number 4, Kyle Reed, who won the head-to-head earlier in the night, was going strong until, bottom of your screen, gets out of shape in the whoops and blammo. Let's see that one again. Whoops, boom. Come on, man, hold on. And no, it finished 7th. The racing at the front, all Kawasaki's and all Team Babbitt's racers. Number 36 is Matt Gerke. Number 3, Zach Ames. And how about number 63, Chris Blose? He'll take main number 1 win in his first Arenacross since 2006. In main 2, number 2 is series sophomore Jacob Hayes. With 4-time series champ Tyler Bowers gone to Supercross, some think the North Carolina native could be the next number 1. Hit past number 12 Stephen Meggs on the KTM to grab the lead. And in a 6-minute, 15-lap main event, that's key. Hayes cruises home for the main 2 win, but 5th overall, with his 10th in main 1. But it's how you finish. Blose would be able to bring it home 3rd, Ames 2nd. How about that overall domination for Kawasaki? 1, 2, 3. Well, that was a heck of a kickoff to the Arenacross season, and Chris Blose, who you may have heard over the years, Supercross, outdoor motocross, has been around a while. He's joining us right now on the Racer X Show, man. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you on here. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just here in Phoenix, trying to recover and enjoy this beautiful weather besides all that back east negative.
Yeah, it's cold back here, man. It was ice and snow and all that kind of stuff. Now, Chris, your name has been bouncing around Arenacross or Supercross, motocross for quite a while. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your racing experience? Because I believe you started in Supercross back in 2005.
Yeah, 2005, 2006, I started racing Supercross. Started on the East Coast and did that, and then I ended up doing the West Coast stuff for a couple, like the Wonder Warhog team and the Fun Center Suzuki team, and then finally got the opportunity to go to the Troy Lee Honda team in 2009. and kind of had like my breakout year, so I was pretty pumped on that. I had, countless, ended up top 5 in points. I had, countless top 5s, and I think I only ended up out of the top 10 one time, due to a crash. So, that kind of set me up to go to the 450 class. I mean, I wanted to stay in the lights class for, another year or two, because I felt like I had some unfinished business to do in there. And it just didn't play my cards right. And ended up on the Hart and Huntington team for 2 years and had some really good finishes there. And now, I was being a privateer for the past couple of years, and now I'm onto Arenacross.
So into Arenacross now, congratulations, you know, your first race you show up and you win the overall. Why Arenacross now? You're 27 years old and, you know, the last couple seasons on the big bike and Supercross and stuff have been pretty tough. I mean, that's a bit of a grind. So why Arenacross now?
It was actually something I've been trying to put together the past couple years with Denny Bartz and the whole Team Babbitt's crew. And it finally came together now that, you know, Tyler's moved on to Supercross. He's riding for Mitch now. So, you know, it all fell into place. And I feel like it kind of re-energized me and to do something new and different. And, you know, I did Arenacross in the past and I had a blast with it. It's really a fun series and a fun group of people that we race against. So I'm having a lot of fun and at the same time I'm winning. So that's always a good thing.
What are your expectations for the season then? I mean, you set them pretty high after the first race.
Yeah, the expectations is to try to win as many as I can. The points reset after, I think, 10 races. So you got to be top 10 in points. And then it's kind of like NASCAR where everyone goes, you know, it resets and then it's like the chase for the championship. So it's just going to be about winning races and making sure my confidence, my momentum is going into that chase for the championship.
Chris Blose, thanks for joining us and good luck the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey ATV racers, I want to remind you that for the first time the Mountain Dew ATV MX Series lands in Daytona for Supercross style race. There's still gate spots available, but they're going fast. Now when you enter, you get some extra stuff. Of course, a spot to race, gate admission starting Friday through ATV racing on Tuesday, so you can check out Supercross, the Ricky Carmichael Supercross races, and you get a free ticket to Saturday night Supercross race. Also, if you register before January 30th, you get a $20 gift card to spend at Rocky Mountain ATV MC. So go to atvmotocross.com to get registered now. And pros, this is a points-paying round for you. So get signed up today. And we'll see you down in Daytona. Okay, back to two wheels. Now last week, the Women's Motocross Series, or WMX, schedule was released. And here's a look. It starts in Daytona at the RCSX with 2 races, March 8th and 9th. Then WMX moves to Wortham, Texas on the 21st, the California Classic April 12th, and then in conjunction with the Pro Motocross Series for the final 5. Friday, May 15th at Hangtown. And just announced, a midday Saturday moto in front of the huge Pro Motocross crowd on the 16th. June 7th at Muddy Creek, and then High Point, Redbud, and wrapping things up at Ironman. Strong WMX series lined up for 2015. The West Virginia Indoor Motocross Championship, put on by Action Sports Promotions, has been the highlight of winter racing in Huntington, West Virginia since 1987. Nearly 500 amateurs and professional racers converge on the Big Sandy Superstore Arena, many of them using the race as a warm-up for the opening round of the National Arenacross Series in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was cold outside, but the action inside, hotter than a firecracker. As the gate dropped for Friday night's Open Pro Main, it was number 83 Levi Kilbarger aboard his Kilbarger Construction Yamaha taking the hole shot. Behind him, number 801 Jeff Alessi from California aboard the Lavalette Cycle Kawasaki, and Texas native Brandon Glenn in third. Ohio's Dylan Walker and Pennsylvania's Ben Nelko would pass Glenn before the halfway point. With just a few laps to go, Nelko would use the slick inside line and pass Alessi to take over second. But it was all Kilbarger out front as he led wire to wire for the easy win. Open Pro Main kicked off with another hole shot by Kilbarger, with Alessi and Walker behind. The front 3 would remain the same out front, with Slusser and Nelko battling for fourth. Nelko finishing just off the podium. Kilbarger took his second win of the weekend, with Alessi and Walker rounding out the podium. We want you to get out and watch some racing. In Grand Rapids, what better way to do it than with Arenacross and the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross, Friday and Saturday night at the Van Andel Arena. And in SoCal, Supercross returns to Anaheim for A2 Saturday night. Tickets are available, so go check it out.
The Racer X Show with Greg White is being presented by Acharities, Soul and Passion.
All right, that'll do it for us. Can't believe it's already middle of January. Pretty soon, it'll be Daytona Bike Week time. Next week, we'll tell you more about all the incredible racing going on in March this year. But for now, Thanks for joining us, and make sure you check out all of our social media links. Twitter and Instagram, it's Racer X Show. On YouTube, it's The Racer X Show. Like us, follow us, and spread the word if you like the show. Feel free to post it around. We love it and appreciate it. Well, for the fine crew here at The Racer X Show, I'm Greg White. Thanks for joining us. And of course, on Racer TV, we are all racing all the time. So watch all of our stuff. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.